All right, hi guys, welcome back. I'm Dorothy, a professional astrologer, and you can find me on the web at nhastrologer.com. I'm here on YouTube, as you can clearly see. Please subscribe to this channel. I put stuff up all the time, and why not be kept apprised of the most current astrological happenings in the world. See how it might work for you, or get a heads up on what's going on. This time around, we're getting a heads up, right? Mars has already backed into the sign of Scorpio at the time that I'm recording this, but it will be retrograde in the sign of Scorpio all the way through June 28th. And then it takes till August 3rd before it finally moves back into Sagittarius. So Mars is going to be taking about 7 months to go through a sector of the Zodiac that it usually takes, that same distance when it's moving direct will take about 7 weeks. So we have an opportunity to truly reflect. Mars, again, takes 2 years to go around the zodiac belt, but in that time it is always retrograde at least once. So this is not an unusual occurrence, but so nothing rare there. But what we do get to do and get to use with this is we need to focus on, in our own charts, the Mars energy and where this is in the Scorpio energy. So I'm going to do something for each zodiac sign when I'm done this beginning piece. So the timestamp for each zodiac sign will be in the text box below. So come find that after you listen to this beginning piece. Let's get on with it. Mars is aggressive. It's action. It takes charge. It wants to do things and get things done. Typically goes into every project head first, like that ram that it is, head first without thinking. Mars in Scorpio is very intense. All right. Scorpio is fixed water sign, and that means we can become obsessive about something that we're really emotional about. It's more than passion, it's obsessiveness. So that is something that can happen that we can really start to focus on with this retrograde of Mars, right, over the next number of weeks. Deep thinking comes in with this too, because we're wondering how we're feeling. If you are a Scorpio, then you're going to feel this intensely. If you have planets in the sign of Scorpio, in those last few degrees, those last 7 degrees of that sign, then you're going to feel this very strongly. Or if you have anything in the fixed signs from 23 degrees on forward, then you're going to feel this intensity. So, and the intensity is, we're thinking things through. We need to contemplate what our life has been about recently. So I have some dates for you that always seems important to me, because I would like to look at, we just had, Saturn moving through the sign of Scorpio recently. Well, within the last couple of years. So basically back in October and November 2014 is when Saturn was moving through this same chunk of Scorpio, 23 degrees all the way to the final degree of Scorpio, and then into Sag. So October, November 2014, check back and look at your journals, whatever you can do, and see what you had breaking down at that point in time and what you were going through at that point in time. Because Mars backing through this sector, it was only there a few weeks ago, but as the retrograde, going back over these numbers for the whole month of June, you will have an opportunity to see what's really been discovered about yourself, or what you're learning about yourself. And again, I'm going to give you more information on each house in just a minute. So Scorpio is also going to bring to our attention these other categories, sexual problems or sexual issues, sexual compulsions. It will bring that into our view, or something for us to examine. Not everybody, some of us, right? Taxes. If you've done something incorrect or a little bit devious with your taxes, that might come up. People in the 8th house, which is Scorpio's natural home, that 8th house energy is also about finances. There's a lot of finances. It's those outside resources. Did you borrow money that you shouldn't have? People may have embezzled money. I'm not saying you did. These are things that can come up. We might see this out in the political world. We probably will. These are the things that will come up in this time period. So reflect on what was going on for you, once again, in that October, November 2014, this Scorpio red Mars retrograde in the sign of Scorpio is going to bring these things up for you. All right, so now I'm going to move on to each of the zodiac signs. All right, Aries. For you, this is going on in your solar 8th house, and that is the natural ruling area for Scorpio. So with Mars retrograding in that sector, you know, some of the most important things that you're going to, it's just going to highlight the things I've already said. Honestly, it's not going to add any additional information like it will for the other locations, the other zodiac signs. But, you know, the intensity around sex, the intensity around those financial resources, outside resources, focusing in on, you know, have you been responsible with your finances or irresponsible with them? These are things that are very important to pay attention and to slow down and just to examine. You know, we typically will do these things without anybody even telling us about it anyways, but now that you're hearing this and you have an opportunity to be a little more self-aware, it's important that you focus in on those things that I already mentioned. So see where it is that you can learn some lessons. Go back to that time period, that October, November 2014, like I said, when Saturn was moving through that sector, and see what was shaken up and what was going on there. Because now you have a 4-week, 5-week period here, up to 7 actually, but 4 weeks while the planet's retrograde, to maybe just to finalize some of the lessons that you might have been learning or the things that you've been working through back in that October-November period, okay, of 2014. All right, so that's what that's all about. If you want to know more personal information, all you have to do is contact me. All right? Okay. Next, I will go on to Taurus. Taurus, you're next. Taurus, this is going on in your solar 7th house of partnerships and relationships. So this can be rather intense. This is where you already have your Scorpio energy. So you already know that there is a level of intensity in your life anyways when it comes to partnerships, whether they're business partnerships or those love relationships. This is where you're very, very intense, okay? Wherever we have our Scorpio, we're intense. So Saturn was moving through that sector for a couple of years, but those degrees where Mars is moving through at this point in time, remember October, November 2014, what was shaken up, what in your relationships was breaking down, so you needed to rebuild, or did something break away completely? If something broke away completely, then basically what will happen now is you'll actually have an opportunity to maybe heal on another level, something that was uncomfortable and something that didn't feel right. You get to sometimes even relive. I mean, some emotions can come up from a past relationship that may have ended. Emotions can come up with this retrograde of Mars and Scorpio in that sector. But it's an opportunity to learn more about yourself and learn more about your own healing in a very profound and transformative way. So take this opportunity to be very, very it's a good opportunity for transformation, okay? In regards to your relationships and partnerships. Okay. Gemini. What's going on in your solar 6th house? Transformation here goes on in your everyday living, your day-to-day life, how you're taking care of your health. When Scorpio is in that sector, we have an important and a deep opportunity. You're born with this. You have a deep opportunity to understand health and healing. Lots of times when people have Scorpio in this sector in their natal chart, which you do, those who have Gemini rising and those who have the energy of Gemini sun, you tend to be healers anyways. So this is an opportunity for you to learn a new modality or to revisit an old modality that you've already worked on, something that you might want to bring back up, okay? Something from your past or something that really felt really interesting and good to you, but you never really pursued very far, because this retrograde of Mars in this sector, in the sign of Scorpio, is all about, you know, your health and your wellness. And then what you know about that and how you can share that with others, all right? Because you know that Scorpio energy, again, no matter where we have it, we all take it to a very deep level, because it's usually the deepest place that any of us will go, no matter what our sun sign is, okay? All right, so focus on what your day-to-day life is. There are some transformations that are going on here, and if you're focusing in on your health and how you're eating and how you're taking care of yourself, that in and of itself will transform the way your day-to-day living is. All right, super. Moving on to Cancer. Cancer, this is going on in your solar 5th house, and this is the area of the chart. This is fixed Leo area, so we have the fixed water in this sector. So this is where we're very passionate about what we're creating and how we're being creative. So there's a transformation going on here in some way. When Saturn moved through that sector back in 2013, 14-ish, and then it was in that October-November period of 2014, you know, there was something going on there that was really breaking down and shaking up the way that you express yourself creatively and passionately, because this is Leo's house, and Leo is very passionate. With Scorpio on that sector, for you guys, this is very, what is it, for sure, this is just very creative and very passionate and very emotional. So there is some type of transformation going on there, where you felt very passionate about something for a while, and then maybe you had to let go of it for the last year and a half or so, and now you're able to revive this and bring it from the depths and bring it up and out, so you're able to share this passion with the world. So this is one way that this can play out for you guys who are Cancer. All right? Okay. Let's move on to Leo. Leo, this, it's like these guys are flipped, right? So Leo, this goes on in your solar 4th house, and that's the house of home, the family, past lives. It's the area where we have karma, where karma comes in from our lineage. There is something going on here, you know, in your home. It's the closets, you know, where we close things and hide things. You wouldn't believe what's in this closet over here. It's lots of books, but it's kind of messy. The rest of my space is clean, but the closet's messy. Who doesn't have a junk drawer, right? I mean, that's New England, so I don't know where you are, but, you know, anyways, this is that Scorpio moving in and retrograding in that 4th house. It's like the things that are very personal, very private, you know, really self-motivated, but also family-motivated. So there's this transformation and this deep exploration about what your home and your family is truly about and what it is like. And whatever changes you went through when Saturn was moving through that sector in the sign of Scorpio back in October, November 2014, then you get to revisit that just a little bit now, like all of us in our own way. And for you guys, you Leos, this is an opportunity for you just to rediscover what home, family, security is all about. All right. If you want to know more, you're welcome to contact me for those personal private sessions. All right, I'm going to move on to Virgo, and that is in your solar 3rd house. And so with Mars in Scorpio moving through that 3rd house of communication, it is also our siblings. It's our youth. So this is a really amazing opportunity for us to transform relationships that we have with family. Somebody on a skateboard going by. The way we have our relationships with our siblings and our family as well. This is a wonderful opportunity, again, to really focus on what the stability is around our neighborhood, you know, what that looks like, because of that Saturn transit back in October, November 2014. And now that about approximately a year and a half has gone by, Mars retrograding through that sector once again is going to bring up what you thought was stable, so you're able to examine it and maybe make more shifts so you can feel a little more stable in the way that you communicate with the world and the way that you present yourself to the world in your local, not the world, but in your neighborhood, your local world, okay? And that is what you guys have, those of you who have Virgo rising or Virgo. So focus on those details a little bit more every time that you can. Okay. Libra. This is in your solar 2nd house. So Scorpio retrograding in that house, Mars and Scorpio retrograding in that house of values, personal values. This is an opportunity here for things to change. Your value system has most likely gone through some type of significant change back when Saturn was moving through there. When Saturn moves through that 2nd house sector, our finances, we tend to need to be a little more creative with our finances. What do you value in your life? There's a whole shift happening at this point in time, and it's finances too, because that 2nd house is one of those money houses, And again, you're going through a financial shift, a financial change. And relate back to, again, October, November, what was going on there. There's so much we can say about that, and so it's important that you don't panic about anything like that. If you feel that's kind of panicky, I kind of get that feeling from some people, that this feels kind of really scary, that my finances are going to change, and they can change some, but our approach to them can change. And I think that's one of the most important things that we get. You know, what we value and how we spend our money is going through some type of regroup and revamping, so we can have more control over it, okay? And that's how it feels for those of you who are Libra, and this is going on in your second house of personal resources. Always can contact me for your own private session, and when we have conversations, you can really dig in deep, and this is a great opportunity to dig in deep while Mars is in Scorpio, if you really truly want to understand your finances and how what you came into the world with, and how you approach finances, because we all approach our finances in a different way. And you guys with Libra, in Libra rising, I mean, that Scorpio's on your second house, so you're always going to be transforming the way you feel and think about money. All right, Scorpio, this is in your solar first house, and so this is really changing your appearance. You know how back in the 70s or the 80s when people were kind of gothic? That was very Scorpio. That was very Scorpio in the first house type of energy, right? And so I'm not saying you're going to go gothic. But what I can say is that you might be carrying around this just very deep and intense. You're already deep and intense because Scorpio is already in your first house. But Mars in Scorpio retrograding there, you have an opportunity here to really contemplate who you are and what the meaning of your life is and how you want to present that to the world. That first house is our face, it's our front door, it's what the world gets to see, our identity and how others see us. So they see you as somebody who's very transformative. It could be that you're very much a healer, and even psychological type of healing, and people can really come to you and they'll tell you secrets, and they can dump on you, so you have to be careful of that. But this is where you might be needing to learn how to put out boundaries, because people might feel very much in the need of unloading psychologically on you. So this is something that you would want to be well aware of. And if you're feeling super intense yourself, you might want to be aware of maybe not to do that with others. If you're really having a hard time with this, all of us, what we can actually do, but especially you guys who are the Scorpios, is to write stuff down. You can either burn it and release things that no longer belong to you, or take certain things that just don't want, and actually dig a hole and bury them. This is very, very Scorpio-like energy. So try working on some of those things if you feel overly intense. Again, don't forget to look back to October, November 2014 when Saturn was moving through that sector. That's when, it was just a year and a half ago, so that's when you're really starting to rebuild your life. I mean, Saturn's in your second house right now, or in the vicinity of it, and so your values and what you value and that whole system is going through some type of shift and change. And so with Scorpio in that first house with Mars and all of that is just helping you to move into a whole new space and a whole new area and sector of your life, a whole new time period. Right. Sagittarius is next. So Sag, this Mars retrogrades back into the 12th house. Now this is the sector of where we feel, when Mars moves through the 12th house, we feel like we have less control than when Mars is moving in any other area of our charts, of those 12 houses, right? So when it's in that sector, we feel like we're out of control, or we have no control, that everything around us is controlling us, and we just feel totally powerless. So this is an opportunity for you to do some journeying, do some dream work, and work through the things that feel really sharp and really edgy, and really the things that you're feeling very obsessive about. It's an opportunity to get right into it. So get to some drumming circles, or get to some shamanic circles, or your psychotherapist, because that is really good work to do too. While we have retrogrades in our 12th house, wonderful opportunity to work through some psychological things. And don't be shy about it. Nothing wrong with it at all. get an outside perspective. It's a wonderful opportunity. If you need some help from me, click on the links in the text box below, and I can help you out. We can do a private session. All right, I'm going to move on to Capricorn. Now, Capricorn, this is going on in your 11th house, and that's the area of the chart with your friends, the groups that you belong to, any causes or social things that are really important to you. All of these are going through a major upheaval, or, you know, it doesn't have to be a major upheaval. Saturn might have done the major upheaval back 2014, but this retrograde of Mars in that sector is definitely helping you to see who's your friend, who isn't your friend, what groups are good for you. So the groups that you probably already belong to are groups that are a bit off of center, you know, because that Aquarius is just unique and unusual energy, and you approach things in a very different fashion. It's not as an individual. You approach things, well, actually as an individual, but what's for the greater good. All right? You always want things for the greater good, but it's hard to see the individual relationships that you need to have. So when Scorpio is retrograde in this sector, when Mars in Scorpio is retrograde in this sector, this is where friendships are going through all kinds of transformations. Groups that you belong to may be going through major upheavals, so you have to figure out where you fit in those groups now, and you may even decide that you don't want to be part of any groups for a little while, and you just want to take a break. So there is some type of major shift and transformation going on in regards to your friends, the groups you belong to, the causes that you have interest in, and that type of energy. Okay. All right. Moving on to Aquarius. Aquarius, this is going on in your 10th house of career now, in your public image. So there is a big shift going on in your work. If it's your, you know, the public image too is, you know, your social standing. What is your title? Ms., Mrs., Mr. Am I married? Am I divorced? Am I a widow? There is a shift going on there. All right, that's the public standing. That's the public situation of that 10th house. And or the career can be going through a shift too. So maybe you're getting a new position. Maybe you don't even have a job and you've just finally found the job of your dreams that you're very passionate about. There is something going on. There is some type of upheaval that can bring things to the surface. So if you have a job, something can come up where it can be an idea or a shift and a transformation can be presented to you, and it says, this is where the company's going, so let's follow that. Some people will lose positions during this type of a transit, and some people will lose marriages during the type of transit. Some people will also gain marriages during this and create and find new jobs. So remember, it's never all negative. It's always a nice mix of both, one or the other even. So as an Aquarius, you've got a big shift going on in that very public sector. So try to handle it as best you can with grace. All right, finally on to Pisces. This is going on in that solar 9th house for you guys. And so this is all about higher learning, metaphysical learning. It's religion as well. So this is a wonderful opportunity for you to shift the way you approach your religion or your spirituality. A wonderful opportunity to do that. And if you're interested in publishing, this is a big opportunity for publishing and excuse me, and seeing if it works for you. You know, you could have something in your head or a book ready to be published. You're going to launch an electronic book. You're going to publish a paper book. What's going on with this? There's an opportunity here for some type of publishing, and whatever is publishing for you, to go through a whole transformation so you can regroup, look at what's important, dive right in, understand what the process is. And that goes for anything to do with publishing, anything to do with your spiritual practices, anything to do with legal situations, because this is also the legal sector of the astrology chart. And even, you know, Jupiter rules this, so this can even have a lot to do with, you know, taking a trip and really learning and experiencing life, learning through experiencing life. There we go. And, you know, an opportunity that you thought was gone can come back. where you can, say you're going to go to Italy and just live there for a month and just really dive into that culture, and it transforms you. It turns you into something new and something else, something from a past life. It's just coming back, and you get to experience this lifetime. This is a really cool place to have that Scorpio energy going on in that area of self-discovery through philosophical beliefs or religious or spiritual beliefs. This is a great opportunity to learn about yourself and to transform something about yourself, which is a natural transformation and a natural progression. Okay, so I'm going to leave you with that. Thank you everybody for watching. Come to my website, nhastrologer.com. Come and have your own personal private sessions. And guys, I also do a, what am I trying to say here? A drawing. There we go. I draw in a blank. I'll also do a drawing for a free reading, a free 20-minute reading once a month, and for new subscribers to my newsletter. So come to my website, and that little sign-up box is on the right-hand side. So come sign up for that, and I'll enter you into that drawing for once a month. All right. Thank you very much, and please subscribe. Please share. Blessings.